Hey, welcome back, everybody.
What's happening?
Come and join us.
That's right.
At Ministry Talks Podcast.
Yes.
Listen, this is episode 4 of season 4. If you have not liked, subscribed, make sure you go to YouTube and do that. You can email us at mintalkspodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
We love all the questions. We love all the feedback that we're getting as far as like the things we're talking about.
Yeah.
One email said like, hey, I'm not a church pastor. I just love the content.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's a huge, for us, that's a huge win.
That's a win.
Because it's not just for church leaders, although we are pastors. I'm a youth pastor. Pastor West is senior pastor. But, you know, the content is for anybody out there who is in a leadership role. You can go to mintalkspodcast@gmail.com. Oh, and go to Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah, buymeacoffee.com/mintalkspod.
Yes.
You can get a little bit of bonus content and at the same time kind of help us, maintain our coffee intake and the content. We just, we set aside some time to make sure that this all gets done, and that really helps us out.
So episode 3 was talking about the power of pain.
Yes.
Episode 4, we're going to get right into it, and I'm actually going to let Pastor West kind of run the ball with this one.
Okay.
But we're gonna banter back and forth. But church hurt can go both ways.
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Set.
Go.
Let's go.
All right. So church hurt can go both ways. This is off of the idea that there are a lot of there's this new class of Christian out there called the nuns, None.
Yep.
Okay.
I heard you say that.
And the nuns they love Jesus, but they want nothing to do with the church.
Okay.
Because the church hurt them. Right?
Yeah.
And am I admitting that people in the church can hurt you? Yes, absolutely.
Very true.
Did the church hurt you, or are you talking about the biblical ecclesia gathering? But basically, I want to say it like this. You were hurt by somebody in a church.
Yeah.
Therefore, the church hurt you. Here's what doesn't get talked about a lot.
Okay.
That goes both ways. As a pastor.
Yeah.
If I were to leave a church that I'm leading, every time somebody hurt me, I would never be a pastor anywhere, because I've been hurt at every location that I've pastored in.
And probably every level.
At many levels, multiple levels, not just surface hurt.
No, yeah.
Pastor, I didn't like how you used that message today, or, you only had 2 points instead of 3, or a beloved friend of mine who actually just went to be with the Lord. She just turned 90.
Wow.
She just went to be with the Lord. She never hurt me, but she always corrected me. She would come up. She knew the Bible inside and out, up one side and down the other. She could read it in multiple different languages. I think because the Holy Spirit let her do it, not because she studied.
Wow.
But wow. She just went to be with the Lord. That woman corrected in respect and in love and never hurt me whatsoever. So it can happen. It can be done. But I've had the antithesis happen as well, where someone comes up and says, Pastor, if you talk about money one more time, I'm going to leave this church. And I'm like, I love you. God loves you. Bye.
And that's the thing that so I have been on both sides.
Okay.
And I'm going to just be transparent enough to say where I've been hurt by the church, and I am pretty sure I have caused hurt to somebody else.
Right.
Now your thumb is up. I don't want you to lose it.
I got it. Go ahead.
I have to be that transparent, because sometimes we don't want to admit that, I probably have hurt you. Yeah. I've probably said something and it probably rubbed you the wrong way. And I can honestly probably say I probably said it in an attitude.
I can definitely say I've said it in an attitude.
Because I was hurt.
Well, because the old adage is, it's very true. Hurt people.
Hurt people. And what did you just say in the last episode? You said that I am the cause of the trauma, or the cause of the pain. So I could very well be.
If I am the cause of the pain, then that means I've caused pain to other people.
Exactly. So your thumb was up. What you got?
I was just going to say, I have examples, right? I have examples of how I've hurt people. Yeah. But I also have examples, and these don't get talked about, of how people have hurt me.
As a pastor.
Yeah. Right? And not even as a pastor. I was 13 years old. First church hurt I've ever had. 13 years old. And my best friend and his parents moved on from a church. They were pastoring the church I grew up in, or I was going to. from the time I think I was 5 until I was 13. Right? Same pastor, same family, everything. They got called. God called them to go to another state, and and so they were obedient. That means my best friend left. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm already hurting a little bit because my best friend's gone. To a complete other state than Louisiana, and I wasn't sure if I was ever going to see him again. Right. Yada yada. Right. I mean, I'm 13. You don't think about
so
all
many
of that
things.
stuff.
Yeah.
This new pastor gets hired, comes in, and treats the church like a baseball, like with baseball rules. Okay, so my dad was the accountant of the church, right? Yeah. He was on the board. He was the treasurer, the accountant of the church. Yeah. My mom was the children's pastor. By the time we had our meeting, or my parents had their meeting with this pastor, he said, I only give 3 strikes like in baseball, and you already have 2.
Whoa.
My parents didn't know. Well, I served with my mom.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm hearing all of this, right?
Yeah.
And this pastor came in and completely just bulldozed our whole family who had served at this church faithfully as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
And he said because we were, and I'm not going to say the last name, but because we were the ites of the former pastor, we were not going to be allowed to be on his leadership team because that's the old way, and I'm going to do it my way. That's almost word for word is kind of how that went.
Yeah, that's tough.
And so I was hurt to have to leave a church because somebody came in, and not because he wanted to change the rules or do it differently. Bring it, but don't do it in that heart where you're like, it's my way or the highway.
And you automatically assume.
That we're going to be here to like make you unsuccessful. That's not who my parents are.
Okay, now you're talking about something with being really honest. I was hurt at a young age. I played drums. I have been playing drums my entire life. Mm-hmm. I love drums. I wanted to join our youth worship team.
Okay.
I'm like, why not? It's the youth worship team.
Sure, why not?
Their response was like, no, we're good. We already have a drummer. Okay. Never heard anything else from it. Well, then our kids ministry was trying to put together a worship team. Mm-hmm. I said, well, let me shoot my shot. Yeah. Shot it. Went great.
All right.
And it worked. And I'll never forget because I was playing drums every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. for our kids ministry. I was 13 years old. That's how old I was when I started drumming. On our midweek service on a Wednesday, our administrative pastor is, he was the drummer. He's probably the best drummer I've ever seen. The dude's a walking metronome. The dude just knows time. He's running late. So the head guy of the main worship team upstairs comes down and was like, hey, go get the drummer from downstairs. And they were like, oh, the youth drummer? He's like, no, this guy plays for the kids. I had no idea what was going on. But I go upstairs and I hop on this massive drum set and I play these songs. And I know them.
Right.
I've never told you this story.
No.
So they're like, how do you know these songs? I'm like, I listen. I hear what you guys play. So I just kind of keep it internal.
Right.
They're like, all right. So I just thought I was filling in. I thought I was just filling in for a sound check. Mm-hmm. Nope. Dude, that Wednesday, I played in front of people, adult congregation midweek. Okay. I was like 13 years old. Okay. This is back when like the numbers were pretty freaking high.
Right.
And I go downstairs. My youth pastor was like, man, where were you at? You just missed worship. I was like, I was upstairs playing drums. He was like, you play drums? I'm like, yeah. For kids ministry, now upstairs. He's like, the question came, why is Isaiah not on the youth worship team? Well, see, they already had a team. They already had a tight-knit group of people.
Right, the team, yeah.
If I come in, that disrupts the flow. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget. I feel like it kind of raised. And now I want you to get into it because I see you thinking about some things. That kind of began to put a chip on my shoulder. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't want me to be on your team because you don't think I'm good enough.
Right.
So I'm hurt by you. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to hurt you every chance I get.
Right.
I'm going to prove to you that I could not just play, but I can outplay your drummer in drum circle. That was my mentality.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
And it did something to me, not good, for a long time.
I'm sure, yeah.
Because it was just a bitter taste.
Yeah. Well, what tends to happen, though, when people get hurt in church is, and can we be honest, most of the time it's by leadership.
Yeah, it is.
I hate to say it this way, but I'm just going to say it how it kind of makes sense. It's usually from leadership down that people get hurt, right? or leadership and leadership, right?
Yeah.
That kind of parallels spot. But we rarely ever talk about how or when or what happens when a pastor gets hurt, right? So because this hurt goes both ways, what do we do, right? So if we're talking shepherd sheep, okay,
yeah,
the sheep bite, man.
They do.
They bite.
They do.
And they got fleas, and they're smelly.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we get, we step in their poop,
Yeah.
or we get peed on, or we get, rammed or butted or whatever. Because I mean, they're sheep. That's what they do. The shepherd then, traditionally, we're just supposed to take it.
Why?
I don't know. I've never been taught. Back to that whole one of these episodes, I was like, I've never been taught how to be on a church staff.
Like last season or something.
Yeah, season 3. I've never been taught that we can do better or be better when we get hurt. I just know that it's hard to minister in hurt.
Oh my gosh. And I'm pretty sure you've had to.
Oh yeah, multiple times. I mean, the whole George Floyd thing that went down. I had an entire season where I ministered from a broken heart, from brokenness.
Yeah.
Because I didn't say anything. During that whole George Floyd time because I didn't know the facts. And right now with media and the news and everybody reports whatever they want.
Yeah.
Right? Not to mention, that was my anniversary weekend.
Of being in church?
No.
Oh,
my wedding anniversary weekend. I was out of town. I was in a place where we have 0 cell service, and I bring my bride to that place on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I want to be out of pocket for a little bit.
And you can't control what's going on social
media. And I get back home, and I don't know if I can be real like this. Can I do that?
I hope you can. You know you can with me. So
I get back home, and my Facebook is blowed up. I got text messages, and I got emails of, how dare you, in your white privilege, sit back and not say anything?
Wow.
Now, I was gone for days for my anniversary weekend, and I get back to those things.
Before the event even took place?
No,
you were gone before.
I was gone before the event even took place.
Yeah.
The event took place while I was gone.
Right.
And I get back a couple days later, and because I didn't say anything, I'm a racist pastor. So yeah, I ministered from hurt for a while because everything that I had done to that point meant nothing since I didn't say the right thing at the right time for the right person.
We were close in that season though.
We were.
Because I was frustrated.
Yes, I remember that.
I was extremely frustrated. I was frustrated for multiple reasons because there has been an elephant in the room when it comes to racism that is never talked about. And when it is talked about, it has to be, oh, that's not going to last forever.
Right.
To me, that was like the biggest slap in the face. What do you mean this isn't going to last forever? This is something that's been going on for decades.
Yeah.
This is nothing new here.
Right.
Well,
more than decades, centuries.
This is something that has plagued the church forever.
Well, it's plagued humanity forever too.
And let's talk about it.
Let's not fool ourselves.
Let's not minimize.
This isn't new.
What's the most segregated day of the week? You told me
Sunday.
You've got the black Baptists over here and the white Baptists over here.
Mm-hmm.
You got the white Pentecostals over here and you got the black Pentecostals over here.
Yep.
So to me, that season when George Floyd, when he passed, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I had to sit in silence because I'm the only black pastor on my staff. Just gonna be real.
Yeah.
I am the only black pastor on my staff. And I had to sit in silence for a little bit because even what was being brought up,
I bet, yeah,
was minimized to like a degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just thinking like,
I remember you telling me.
I'm like, there's no way that this can really be happening. Mm-hmm. Like we're all seeing the same thing.
Right.
I got to ask you, because you said you've ministered from a place of hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about church hurt goes both ways. Is it sometimes just seeing that like pastors just have to deal with it and move on? Is that why maybe there's not a lot of pastors who talk about church hurt?
Probably. again, we've never been taught any of that, or I haven't.
How to properly deal with it.
How to properly deal with it. And so when we're hurt, again, because we're considered the shepherd.
Yeah.
If we get bit by a sheep, it's a part of the job.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to go along with it.
That's true.
But that minimizes the actual hurt. It minimizes the actual pain. It minimizes the actual, experience. And if our job is to have a heart for people, right, is to tend the sheep, to feed the sheep, then the next time I try and feed the same sheep that bit me, I'm going to be more cautious, right? Once bitten, twice shy. And so I'm gonna be like, are you sure? Are we gonna do this again?
Right.
Because and one of the things that we don't talk about in sheep herding and grooming and the shepherd carried a staff for correction. But boy, let a pastor try and correct somebody today, and
how dare you?
How
Who
dare
do you think you are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I see it working. Go ahead.
Okay. This is going to be honest. I mean, this is just about as transparent. I mean, we're always transparent.
Right.
Sometimes I feel as if the reason why pastors don't talk about it is because it's just best we have to keep a straight face. We have to play both sides, but we always have to make sure we don't ever show our offense. You wonder why pastors are very selective with who they talk to and who they hang with.
Yeah, or why they don't have so many friends.
Because that's what I'm over here thinking right now. This you got a pastor that's friendly, that's greeting you, that's loving you, that wants to do life with you, sit down, have a meal, coffee, whatever. We're going to do that. That's really in our heart. That's in our DNA because Jesus did that. He sat with people. He ate with people. But then, I've heard it said, I'm pretty sure you've heard it said too. I tried to connect with that pastor. I just couldn't really connect. Maybe that pastor has dealt with over a dozen hurts. Not even saying that it's you. And it's not fair for that pastor to project that onto you.
Correct.
But like you said, you haven't been taught. We haven't been taught how to properly step back, rest, deal with the issue, and then move forward. And then sometimes I don't feel like we're maybe given that much grace. Yeah, we're going to make a mistake. Yeah, we're going to drop the ball. That whole George Floyd situation, I even did a whole Facebook thing titled like The Talk or something like that. That was me being about as raw as I can be. Because sometimes I feel too black for the white people and too white for the black people.
Say that.
And sometimes when I step into certain situations with other youth pastors or other pastors, how black can I be today? Am I going to say
via expectation?
Like how many times am I going to, that's awesome. Or is this today where I can be, oh no, that's what's up. That's dope.
No, for real.
What can I say? What can't I say? Oh, maybe I shouldn't approach it because, we don't want you to be that angry, aggressive black guy.
Right.
That's not, wait a minute.
Wait, yeah.
Hold on. Who said I was angry? Who said I was aggressive? When can we not, let's talk about church hurt being both ways.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to disregard the congregation and their hurt.
Absolutely.
Every time Pastor Wes and I meet with people, and I'm speaking on his behalf, is because it is our job to, hey, how can we help you?
Yes.
What can we do? The thing that we say here, we don't know everything. We don't.
Right.
But we want to walk with you through anything. So as we're walking with you through it, give us some grace to know who you are.
Right.
I mean, I don't got a PhD in nothing.
Right.
I might have a PhD in life.
I don't either. I don't have a PhD in nothing.
I don't even think I can say I got a PhD in life. But I'm just saying, at 34 years old, with my wife being white, the comments we hear.
Oh, I'm sure.
Walking through the mall, walking through anything in 2023.
Right.
And so it's difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, this is just who this person is, and this is just who that person. No, that's not true.
Right.
I'm over here just thinking, man.
No, I get it. So and the whole reason we brought this up for this episode very simply is twofold in my mind. One, we got to bring it up.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just pastors out here who are trying to hurt people, right? We're not trying to lead people into, things. We don't say what we say and do what we do so that we can hurt you, right? That's never the heart of a shepherd.
I pray to God that's never the heart of a shepherd, and I don't think it is.
So then, can I say it?
Yeah.
The reason that a lot of people get hurt is because maybe they're playing shepherd, but they're supposed to be a teacher, or they're supposed to be a prophet, or they're supposed to be an evangelist, or maybe they're not supposed to be in the pulpit at all. And a lot of people get hurt, right? I know a guy, really loved this family. I asked him why he would never come to church. And he said, you know what? I went to a friend's funeral and I heard a priest, preacher, whatever they're called, that was his words, say that God needed this person more than anybody else here did, so he took him home. And that hurt him. Wow. And he doesn't set foot in church because that hurt him, because this was one of his best friends.
Why did it hurt him, though?
It hurt him because it was one of his best friends.
Right. Okay.
And that if God can take whoever he wants away from me at any time, then why would I be friends with anybody? Why am I married? Why do we have kids? Why am I even here came up. And so, but that hurt him. And again, it was not the intent or the purpose of that pastor or that priest, whoever it was, to hurt that person, but it happened. And all I'm saying is, if that's possible from people to people, then it's possible from sheeple to people, from sheep to shepherd.
Sheeple. I just think that in that particular case, I wish a conversation would have been had.
Right.
For clarity.
Right. And because I'm sorry, that's just bad theology. Right? There's a lot of bad theology floating out there too.
There is
that
tons.
Hurts a lot of people.
But we're taking what now I wasn't at the funeral.
Right.
I don't know if you were at the funeral.
I wasn't. No, this was just a conversation.
So then I'm wondering if what was said was taken out of context.
I don't know. He pretty much said God needed this person more than we did, so God took him home. That was kind of the gist.
Because he remembered it word for word.
He remembered it, and that's why he never went back to church, right? That's what hurt him and kept him away from church. Now, does he love God? Does he know God? I think he knows God. Yeah. I think he knows God for sure.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do church, right, because of church hurt.
Man.
I also know that there are a handful of people in my own life that I know I have hurt. Again, not intentionally. But they don't go to this church anymore. They don't go to Hope Church anymore. Yeah. But they also, I don't even think, go to church anymore because church hurt them, right? My own kids still are dealing with church hurt.
Yeah.
And it's a real thing. It's a real thing. But we cannot be blind to the fact that it goes the other way too.
Yeah.
It goes the other way. I've been hurt by more people that I've loved and led.
Yeah.
And if I were to leave every time I got hurt, right? If you're the owner of a small business and every time a customer gives you a bad review and you just want to shut the doors, you wouldn't be open for business.
That's so true. I think too, right? Because I know time is up.
Yeah.
The purpose and the heart behind this episode is to let it be known that as pastors, we do get hurt and we have been hurt. And a lot of times we have to suck it up, and I hope that's okay to say. But sometimes we just have to just take it on the chin and serve anyway. Feelings regardless. Feelings removed. Like I still need to show up and preach and communicate and love the sheep that are still here. Mm-hmm. Love my staff that is still here. Continue to put one foot in front of the other. And I've never been shown. Let me say that.
Okay.
Not taught. I've never been shown what a healthy, until I met you, what a healthy sabbatical and Sabbath look like.
Right.
I've never been shown that.
Right.
Because I know you said you take a month or two off every summer. 8 weeks.
I usually do about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So I have a good vacation, but if there's somebody who can bring the word, which I know there are in our church, I let them do that so that I can rest.
And I think that has to be mentioned. So anyways, listen, we love you.
Yeah.
We're so glad that you're like sitting in here with us. We're going deeper into season 4.
Yep.
This was Church Hurt Goes Both Ways. If you have not liked, subscribed, or followed, make sure you go to Spotify and do that. Go to YouTube and hit that notification button. Go to buymeacoffee.com
/MinTalksPod.
Yes, and then you can email us any questions. I hope that if like you have any like things you want to add to this particular episode that we can talk about on bonus content, go to mintalkspodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. And in episode 5,
that's what I was getting ready to ask you. What are we talking about?
Episode 5, we're going to ask the question, does God want you to be happy? Does God want you to be happy?
That's going to be interesting.
We're gonna tackle that. It's gonna be a good episode. It's gonna be a good time. Thanks for joining us today. We love you. We appreciate it.